Yeah, the term game manager can be thrown around different ways. And so usually it has a negative connotation, but I don't necessarily see it that way. It depends on your offense. So, yes, there are game managers out there or quarterbacks who have been termed as game managers, and it had a lot to do with their limitations. And it had a lot to do with the coaches not trusting them and wanting to hide them, therefore playing a very conservative game plan. But you also have game managers who are game managers because of the style of offense. So the style of offense doesn't predicate that you're going to throw the ball 50 times a game. It's a Georgia style offense that says we still trust our quarterback to make downfield throws. We're still going to trust him to make one-on-one throws that he needs to make on 50-50 plays. He's still going to have to extend the defense and throw the ball downfield. We're not hiding him. It's not a bad thing, but we don't throw the ball 50 times and run it 15 times. We want to balance, or we're a little bit run heavy so he doesn't put up the eye-popping numbers, but that doesn't mean we're afraid or we don't trust him. He's a game manager in that the offense isn't completely on his shoulders like it is at other places.
I completely agree, and I think that's the biggest thing is Kirby Smart trusts Jake Fromm. He trusted him more and gave him more and more responsibilities as the season went on. Him being able to check at the line and change the play if he needs to. You never really saw that with Jacob Eason in his freshman year. Like he probably did it, but I mean it's been a year, so it's very weak in my brain. But I just noticed all season long with Jake Fromm's ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage, to be able to essentially run the offense like he wants to if he saw something that the coaches didn't or anything like that. So that's what's impressive to me is as a true freshman, he proved to the coaches that he's trustworthy enough to run the offense. And that's what I meant by game managers is like you said, the trustworthy part. Kirby Smart evidently sees something and trusts him a lot more than he did with Jacob Eason. I think Jake Fromm is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC right now, in my opinion, but that's just me being a bold predictor right there.
Well, I think that he's proven so much, not just something that you can tie directly to stats, but based on what he showed us down the stretch at the SEC championship game, the Rose Bowl, and the national championship game against top-level defenses, aside from Oklahoma, but in a very pressure situation in which he had to keep up with an offense that was tearing it up and had to play a little bit more of an open style game. He was able to do that. And he played 3 really clean games in terms of turnovers near the end of the season, leading into the national championship game. And yeah, off the top of my head, I would rate him as the best quarterback in the SEC. I don't think Nick Fitzgerald is quite as good as Jake Fromm. Jalen Hurts is obviously in a quarterback battle now with Tua Tagovailoa. So we'll see what happens there. And other than that, Drew Lock, I don't know what his status is. But anyway, I think he's arguably the best in the SEC. And I'll have my list of the top 10 in the nation coming out in the next few months. And we'll see where we place Jake Fromm. If he makes the top 10, I don't know. It'll be close.
I will say this. The Rose Bowl probably showed the 2 spectrums of game manager. With Baker Mayfield, they depended on him to make plays with his arm. And if they didn't make plays with his arm, they struggled. I mean, they did a great job running the ball as well. But he's known for carrying the offense and making plays. And that's how they were successful is through him. However, with Georgia, Jake Fromm doesn't have to throw 50 times a game to be successful, but he's able to run the offense well enough to win games and step up when he needs to. So I think that's a perfect way to balance the spectrum, kind of. Half of the spectrum anyway. You have the person that you depend heavily on as a game manager, a person that is the trustworthy one, and then you also have the one where we don't really necessarily trust you yet, just run the game plan. So I think that's kind of a good scenario to compare to, I guess.
Baker Mayfield threw the ball 115 times more than Jake Fromm, and he played one less game. So he would have thrown another 40 times. He's thrown the ball 150 times more in a season than Jake Fromm.
My arm would hurt.
It's just a different style offense and yeah, just a different amount of weight placed on that position. And Kirby Smart, regardless of whether he obviously has a high level of emphasis placed on the quarterback position, he's recruited 3 5-star quarterbacks, and certainly the 2 for sure that came in under his recruitment from start to finish. So he obviously places a high value on the position. Of course, it's quarterback, but at the same time, he wants to impose the will of physical football in the defense and not play that style of football. He wants to say ground and pound, run first, dominate up front. And yes, passing is very important, but we're not going to do it 50 times. We're going to be balanced, and you're going to have to cover both the run and the pass and be unpredictable, but we're going to punch you in the mouth and play strong run game and hit you from that standpoint first and foremost. And so it's just a different philosophy right there, no question.
Oh yeah, I agree. I like the ground and pound, punch you in the mouth kind of football. It's exciting. It's it's unpredictable, like you said. I love SEC football. It's just you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get punched in the mouth each week, each and every week that you face an opponent, and you better be ready to play a physical football game. And that's what they're doing.
All right, talking Georgia football with Savannah Lee Richardson, Bulldog Illustrated. Savannah, it was a long conversation, so I got a lot to go with right here. So I appreciate your time.
Oh yeah, no problem. Anytime.